and welcome back to another Remembering Forgotten Memories episode. So this one kind of sort of is going to be several smaller stories wrapped up into like one bigger motif because it all kind of fits together. So we're talking about the day that not one, but two of my hyperfixations came to be because, hey, hi, hello, in case anyone missed it, I'm autistic. So, alright, I'm talking about the day that not just Dudley Moore, but also Lars Minnelli became two of my special interests, like, literally overnight. But in a roundabout way, it's almost like they had played the long game in my life without my realizing it and snuck up on me one day and just kind of like hit and took over everything real fast. So, with Dudley, we gotta go way back. Like, I was super damn little. We're talking like kindergarten age, maybe. So, little enough to where I only had one sibling. Little enough to where that one sibling was a literal baby still at that point. So, this is way early on in things. And this brings us to, I think, the first trip I had made to Southern California. Wasn't the first Disneyland trip, mind you. Just Southern California. And this was at a point in my life where basically anyone who could skillfully play a piano was basically God to me. It really didn't matter if you're famous or not. It just, if you can play a piano, you have my full fucking attention, undivided. I basically want to be your best friend and just follow you to the ends of the earth. This was more than a little problematic on more than one occasion, but anyway. So this restaurant in SoCal, I have since found out, was the one that Dudley Moore owned. Had no idea at the time. Had no idea who that was, or anything, or that any of this was anything. Just knew, ooh, we're going out to a restaurant tonight. Yeah. So, at some point in the evening, I don't know if my mom went out for a smoke, my dad went to the bar, but basically, the two kids got left alone at the table, unattended. And my sister being a baby in a high chair. Sorry, Nick, I kind of bailed on you. But, yeah, so there was this little platform in there. Not, like, raised or anything. Just, like, basically level with the rest of the restaurant. Had a piano on it, which was in the process of being played. Now, in hindsight, that was Dudley Moore, but I had no way of knowing this as, like, a 5-year-old child. I had no way of knowing this was anything special. All I knew was, ooh, a piano. And someone's playing it. So I snuck right off, and I wandered over there, because there wasn't even, like, so much as, like, a cordoned off thing around it or anything, because this was just, like, a thing he did every week. People were so used to it, he kind of just blended in with the scenery. It was no big deal, because he was there all the damn time. I, again, did not know this as a child, so I kind of just wandered up there, just figuring it's no big deal. This is like the 10 millionth time I've done this with random piano players at different places. So for me, this is kind of just my pattern of what I do. Not much has changed in my life, even in adulthood. But anyway, so I kind of wander up there, like, tippy-toeing up there, seeing how much I can get away with, not being spotted, not being noticed. And eventually, all of a sudden, I'm, like, right next to the piano, kind of, like, peeking up over the little ledge, like, along the side of the keyboard, just kind of watching his hands. Just really transfixed by what he was doing, just really focused on his hands. Like, glanced up at him once, he smiled, made no motion to, like, go away, didn't say anything, just went right on playing. So, of course, I'm perfectly content just to sit and watch. And all of a sudden, I don't know what got into me. I got ballsy. Plopped my ass down on that seat next to it. I just wanted to see up close, just, like, was really transfixed. I just wanted to see how this happens, how that is done. Just, I mean, I kind of was already starting to noodle around on the piano myself. nowhere near that level of playing, though. I was like just barely learning how to play with two hands, kind of, sort of. Never did learn how to do it with sheet music, but just by ear. But regardless, I was just so transfixed and felt like I was so getting away with something because he wasn't telling me to go away, which was like the greatest thing to me. Anyways, so in between songs, like, he turns to me and just starts talking to me like, hey, no big thing, like, he's no big, like, just as a person, to a person, no weirdness whatsoever about, just like, asked what my name was, and asked if I played piano, just like, kind of, but not like you, but it's really pretty, and just like tongue-tied all over myself, and just, oh my gosh, probably word vomiting left and right. But I do remember specifically one point he asked, what kind of music do I like to listen to? And even at that young of an age, like, my god, like, how hardwired this is into my soul from literally day one. Like, there was never a point the Beatles were not a part of my life, but asked what kind of music I listened to, and that I liked. And I said the Beatles, which, early 90s like that was not a common answer to hear come from a child, okay? Like, even by the time I made it to high school, it was not normalized enough to where you could say you were a Beatles fan without, like, getting bullied for that shit, okay? So, and he just, like, looked kind of taken back by that, like, he was not expecting that at all. But he was still just kind of, like, intrigued. Alright, well, what is your favorite song? I had no idea he was gonna start playing it, and at that moment in time, because pretty much the only album I had access to on my own at that age, without, like, needing an adult to, like, go get something else for me, was Sgt. Pepper. So I was very well versed with the entirety of Sgt. Pepper, like, every last note, start to finish, from pretty much birth. Other albums took me till I was a little older to get my hands on myself. But I mean, my parents played them to me, I just didn't myself have a copy, whereas Sgt. Pepper, they made me my own little cassette of. But regardless, I blurred out When I'm 64. Like, what the fuck? It's so weird, because, like, I definitely remember doing it. And I definitely remember it wasn't long after that it switched to Lovely Rita. And it stayed Lovely Rita for a really long time. Basically, most songs from Sgt. Pepper have been my favorite Beatles song at some point in time. Incidentally, as an adult, none of them are the favorite above everything now, but as a kid, it was pretty much a revolving door of the Sgt. Pepper songs. But anyway, without missing me, he starts playing the song! And I'm just like, I'm like so over the moon, just like, this is the coolest person I have ever seen in my whole life! Oh my god! So I'm just like beyond giddy. But around this point, my dad, hearing all of a sudden the music go from like smooth jazz into a Beatles song, he's just like, ah shit, he knows exactly what has gone down. Yet again. He's just like, alright, where is she? Yeah, he's not wrong. So next thing I know, he's over there and he is apologizing left and right. No, she's fine. Leave her be. She's fine. And he let me stay up there for the rest of the song. But my dad, being as he used to be back in the day, back before he just, like, stopped trying, he used to have his, like, nice camera with him on his person pretty much most places that he went in the car. So he went out, got his camera, came back in, took a picture of me on the piano stool with Dudley. I still have that photo. It is framed in my room. However, I have gotten such shitty comments about it the few times I have shared it online. Like, ones that don't have to do with, like, anything relevant. Just people making something weird out of something that was not weird. To the point where I'm like, I'm very protective of that memory. Therefore, I am not gonna make that the thumbnail here. As much as it kills me not to. I'm like, I want to so badly. Like, you have no idea. But, on the other hand, I also don't want people to be shitty about one of my most cherished memories. So, anyway, I feel like it was appropriate to tell this story today, because it is my mom's 64th birthday, so hey, everybody say happy birthday to Mama BeatleBabe. So, anyway, just as an aside, it's what put this in my head to share this one today, even though I know I've definitely told this story online before. Now, Again, I had no idea that this was even anybody famous at all as this was going on. It wasn't until after my dad, like, kind of, like, took me back to the table to go eat my food, even though I was still kind of just, like, transfixed watching, like, the rest of the time we were there. Like, he tried to explain, like, who this was to me, but obviously just way over my head, because being a teeny little kid, like, I have no idea any of these movies he is referencing, okay? So it's just like, okay, whatever. But, like, I could care less. All I care about is the fact that this man knows how to play a piano, and he played me a Beatles song, so. Anyway, so, that was a thing that happened, and I always remembered that was a thing that happened. I just had long forgotten that that was even, like, anybody. I just, again, I've had such weird little moments like that with random piano players in random-ass places that I gleeped onto like that I figured it was just another one of those kind of stories, right? So, fast forward till I was 18. We have now reached the point where I am, like, die-hard into the Monkees, and I'm seeing Davy Jones in concert. I stayed with my cousin that weekend, because it was with my uncle on that side that he agreed to bring me, plus they lived closer to Santa Cruz than we do, so shorter drive from there, plus my dad did not want to go to that, so yeah, went with his brother instead, and my cousins. So, anyway, that whole weekend I was there from, like, Friday until, like, Monday or Tuesday. Like, it was in the middle of August, so it didn't matter. There was no school to miss. But anyway, like, weirdly, first day there, of all the things, he asked, do I want to see the movie Arthur? Now, I'm still on my high horse at this point in time, where basically the only things that I want to watch are, like, Beatles things, or things of the Who, or more recently things of the Monkees at that point. Therefore, this is none of those three things, so hard nope, I'm gonna watch Yellow Submarine for about the 20 millionth time with Brittany, and recite every word of it. Thanks very much. So, okay, but I really think it'd be your speed, but okay, do what you want. And of all things, during Davy's show, to get name-dropped. What the actual fuck? He tells his joke that, like, again, my Monkees fandom was in its infancy at this point. I'd only been a fan for, like, a year or so. So, I didn't know this was a thing he did regularly in, like, most of his shows at that point. But he's like, so I was walking down the beach today. Someone came up to me and said, do you know who you are? I said, well, I think I do. They go, I loved you in Arthur. And he goes, yeah, I'm Dudley Moore. Nice to see you. Are you a hooker? I just thought I was doing great with you. And all of a sudden something clicked in my head. I was like, Arthur, isn't that a movie that Uncle Jack just asked if I wanted to see, like, yesterday? That's so weird! Anyway, but I didn't, like, really give it another thought in that moment. Like, under normal circumstances, I probably would have immediately come home and wanted to see it right then to understand the reference. However, that is also the night that I met Davy Jones, and that I kissed Davy Jones. Therefore, I was so over the moon, being distracted with that, yeah, that little detail kind of slipped my mind for literally months after the fact. And it wasn't until, like, November of that year that I don't know what made me randomly remember it out of nowhere. But I think it was, like, his show Meet the Royals had started, and I had been, like, watching it every week, and there was something in it where, like, the way he impersonated somebody reminded me of that line that was like, hey, yeah, I was gonna ask about that movie. What was that movie called? And then I tried my damnedest to remember what was the quote, what was it, and, like, in, like, some weird-ass version of the wording that I gave online, somebody was able to figure out what I was trying to quote. They're like, oh, you mean Arthur? I guess? Is it? I don't know. Yeah, you mean Arthur. Okay. So I go to my dad. And I ask him, hey, have you ever heard of this movie, Arthur? He's like, of course. I was like, yeah, because, like, Davy Jones did this impersonation of it when I saw him a few months ago, and I just remembered it, and I kind of want to see it. Do we have it? He's like, I don't know, we can go look. So we went through our VHS tapes, because we had only just fairly recently gotten our first DVD player, like a couple years before. We didn't have a very big DVD collection yet, so we're going through our VHS tapes, and alas, no, we did not have it. But me being me, I was impatient, and this was like a Friday or a Saturday or something, so he wasn't at work that day. He couldn't just go ask his brother the next day, hey, you apparently have this movie. Can I borrow it and make a copy for my kid? So I was being impatient, so I was like, so can we, like, go rent it or something? He's like, I don't know if anywhere would have it. It's kind of old. We can look. So, alright. Went to Blockbuster, struck out, went to Hollywood Video, boom, in like 2 seconds flat, hey, does this look right? Is this it? Is this the one? He looks like, yeah, that's it. So we go rent it. We bring it home. And I make it like, not even a full minute in, but like the combo of that theme song and hearing that laugh and that face that looked kind of halfway between Davy and Keith Moon. I was like, who is this guy? Oh, I think I'm in love with him. Oh, I like him. Like, just something like that immediate, that fast. Just like, this is my next celebrity obsession. I'm calling it now. And boy, howdy, I was not wrong on that. Oh my god, I had no idea just how fast that one was gonna take over everything, but so I keep watching. And it gets to the first scene that Liza's in. And I, for a second time in the same night, who is she? Whoa. Like, alright, bisexual queen here, sorry. Like, yeah, like twice in the same night, I'm just like, I don't know who she is, but I think I'm in love twice tonight. Like, wow, okay. But it took a little longer for that one to really get a foothold, because I didn't have access to anything else of hers immediately. Or did I? I didn't realize I did, but Arrested Development was on the air, and I had already been watching that, oblivious to the fact that I was already watching her, and she was already my favorite on that show. What the fuck? But anyway. My life is so weird, I swear. Anyway. So, I watch it, I tell my dad, it's my new favorite movie, oh my god, it's so good, it's so good. Tell your brother, he was right when he said that this was my speed, like, he was right. But, oh my god, I love it so much. So, next thing I do, I ask him, is there like a way we can, like, copy a DVD? Like, is that a thing? He's like, yeah, I got software for that. I still have that burned copy to this day, and incidentally, of all the Dudley Moore things I own, that's actually one of the only things I never got around to, like, upgrading to a legit copy, because he did, like, a perfect ISO rip of the DVD, so it has, like, all the menus, all the special features, everything on it, so it's, like, not much point to go out of my way to rebuy what I literally already have. One of these days I will, but regardless, so... And now I have it at my disposal, and I'm watching it literally every single day now, because again, autistic, but, like, multiple times a day. Like, this is just how I roll when I latch on to stuff. And then I start trying to, like, dig into, so is he ever in, like, anything else? Like, oh my god. Like, I kind of just want to see everything he's ever done. Like, kind of the way that I was with the Beatles, the Who, the Monkees. Like, now it's until... I must track down everything this man ever made. All of them. Across the board. And see them all. And read all about his life. Read every book ever written about him. Unbeknownst to me, he had just died 1 year prior. So, initially, I was heartbroken thinking, that is, like, the cruelest act of fate, universe. What the fuck? You would let me get obsessed with this guy a year after he dies, therefore there is no chance of meeting him? That's so fucking cruel. Oh my god. I still hadn't pieced this together yet, guys, okay? Like, cut me some slack. Cut me some slack. So I collect all the movies. I collect all the books. And then I find out he did music? Like, he has albums? Wait, hold the phone. He did albums? Oh, there's like a whole other facet here that I hadn't even tapped into yet. So now I'm barreling through buying all the albums, which, I mean, I'm just saying, the one good thing about the timing of when I got into him was that because he had just died a year earlier, it's that whole thing with eBay where a celebrity dies and now suddenly everybody wants to try to sell off anything they have of that person to, like, make a quick buck because the person just died. Yeah, there was all this Dudley Moore stuff on eBay at that moment in time, and I was able to collect, like, basically everything he ever did like that. I have never had that kind of luck ever again with any other fandom I have ever been in. I've never had that easy of a time. Anyway, so I'm going through his albums, and this is when I started getting into jazz, obvi, but, like, I hit the Songs Without Words album. And I have the weirdest sense of deja vu, and I don't know why. And I'm just sitting there like, this is so weird. I know I have heard this music before. I don't know how, though. Like, he's a pretty weird niche. Like, it's not like this is really popular stuff that I can think of anywhere that I would have heard it, but, like, I swear I've heard it before. And I think I was, like, mentioning to my dad, like, just how weirded out I was, like, it's the weirdest thing, a deja vu. What does that mean? I showed him what I'm talking about. I let him hear it. He's just like, let me see that real quick. Let's see what here that came out. You know why you know it? No, do you? Yeah, I do. Oh my god, tell me. So, do you remember when you were about 5 years old? At that restaurant we were at, you went, like, sat down on the piano bench with that guy who was playing the piano, and he started playing Beatles for you? Yeah? That's him. I'm like, oh no, it's not. You are so wrong. You are so mixed up. You have no idea what you are talking about. Oh? And he goes in his closet, and he digs through some shoe boxes, thank you. Digging through shoe boxes, because, yeah, we have photo albums, but the ones that didn't fit in photo albums, my parents would, like, kind of keep in boxes inside of, like, the photo envelopes that they had them developed from. And he's digging through, comes back like 20 minutes later, hey, look at this. Still think it's not him? Holy shit! And you didn't tell me? Why wouldn't you have told me that day one? He's like, honestly, I kind of forgot about it. And just, holy shit. Can I just have this thing? It's a picture of me. Can I please have it? He's like, no. Oh, fuck you. He's like, no, I'll have a copy made for you. Okay, alright, fair. Fine. Like, that's fair. But, like, holy shit. I went all those years oblivious, having no idea at all. It finally came full circle to fruition. Now, that would be weird enough. But I had another weird moment, unfortunately not involving one meeting her, but I had another equally strange, mind-blown moment like that, involving Liza too, not long after that. So, in my whole period of rewatching Arthur every fucking day, multiple times a day, getting to the point where I was starting to multitask while I had it on just because it was like a comfort thing, and like, I happened to look away on the screen, and Liza was talking in this moment. I'm like, hear me out, but if you don't look at her, do you know who she sounds like when she talks? And my dad just standing there. No, tell me, who does she sound like when she talks, Jennifer? She sounds like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. That's so weird, right? And he's like, she should. That's her mom. I was like, no, it's not. You're always wrong about everything. It's like, oh, really? Really? Google it. Or actually, no, you don't need to Google. I was like, first of all, you're wrong. They don't even have the same last name because I'm a fucking idiot. But anyway, he's just like, tell me Judy Garland's husband's names. Because, let me backpedal here. My only celebrity obsession that went back as far as the Beatles to pretty much being an infant with me is Judy Garland. The only difference from the Beatles when it came to Judy is that I hit about 12 years old and had this weird thing where several of the things that I was absolutely obsessed with as a kid, I suddenly thought I was too old for, or too cool for, or they were too babyish. I guess because the Wizard of Oz part of it. I don't know. I thought Judy was one of those things, so it kind of, like, got shelved and, like, forgotten about. Happened with that. Happened with Disney. Happened with Michael J. Fox. Incidentally, all three of those came roaring back within, like, 5 years of my deciding this stupid thing. But anyway. So I'm like, obviously, having been obsessed with her as a little kid, I had books about her, I read about her life, but I had not pinged together her Liza was that Liza until I was like, okay, her husband's name's David Rose, Vincent Minnelli, oh shit. No, that's a coincidence, you're still wrong. He's like, fine, Google it. Fine, I will. And so I do, and obviously it comes up. But he's right, and I'm a fucking idiot. And I'm like, no, this is a conspiracy, I'm asking Mom! So I go to my mom. And she's like, yeah, and you've always known that. No, I haven't always known that. I just learned that like 5 seconds ago. Like, don't you remember that trip your grandpa took you on? When you're about 12, it was like right before I decided I was too old for, like, when you're about 12, when we were, like, in LA, he took you on that, like, walking tours thing in, like, the Hollywood area of, like, old, like, Hollywood celebrities' homes, and one of them was Judy Garland's, you know, aka the first one that Liza lived in. They even pointed out where her first steps were taken. I'm kind of vaguely remembering that as you're telling me it. Oh boy. Happened again. Happened again! It's almost on par with the Dudley thing. It's not quite as good because I didn't actually meet her, but it's like right on par though of just them feeling a deja vu and just like, oh no fucking way. There's no fucking way this goes back like that. Oh, come on. Somebody's fucking with me. Nope. And again, just like the other one. Full circle. Never to leave that spot again. And basically I felt like a big fucking idiot twice. But anyway. Yeah, but just the fact that like both of these hyperfixations hit on the same night from watching the same movie, and both just like in such a way to where literally both of them took over everything for like the longest time before I finally started like leveling out and hitting my norm again, back with like all of my other interests again. But yeah, it's kind of weird. But every time that I tell the Dudley half of the story, everyone's like, oh, is that how that started? I'm like, I mean, kind of, but not consciously. Like, it's not like I met him and then was suddenly obsessed with him. No, that's not how that went down. It's like, that happened, but then it took until I was 18 and saw Arthur for it to all of a sudden take hold, I guess, even though I still at that point did not realize this guy is the same guy as this. It did not register in my head in that moment that this is the same person, so. It's weird. My life is fucking weird, but what can I tell you? So, anyway, yeah, like I said, it was just kind of a combination of several different stories that all, at the end, interlink together. So anyway, I have been talking for a really long time and I am kind of out of breath now, so I'm gonna go. So as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below, make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddits, everything and more is all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel, you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, until next time, see ya.